Well, let's go ahead and get started. Great to see you all in the room here and all of you in the cloud. Nice to see you. We welcome everyone who's attending. If you're attending virtually, we would appreciate your turning on cameras if possible. Before I begin, I ask you to join me in a moment of silence for all victims of war and violence in the Middle East, Ukraine, Russia, Africa, and worldwide, including families of victims and their loved ones. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. We condemn violence of all kinds, including anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. We support one another in times of difficulty, and we strive to be a community that's respectful of and safe for everyone. Let me start by saying, for all of you Yankee fans, congratulations. Your happiness is my pain, but I'm happy for you. Hope everyone's enjoying the playoffs. Last week, we celebrated Anna Krupitsky as she's beginning the next chapter in her career, and we certainly wish Anna all the best, and we already miss her. Vice President for External Affairs, Strategic Initiatives, and Senior Counsel to the President, Dr. Nicholas Chevrolotti, is offering interim leadership for human resources while the national search for a new Vice President for HR is underway. And Director of Faculty and Staff Development, Amala Ogburn, has graciously agreed to coordinate day-to-day HR operations while the search moves forward. Nicholas and Amala, thank you both for your support and your leadership. And I'd like to offer Nicholas an opportunity to just briefly discuss the search process and timetable. I think he's on. Are you on there, Nicholas? Maybe he's not. Okay. Well, if Nicholas comes on, we'll circle back to him. Last week, I sent everyone a letter from our Achieving the Dream leadership coach, Dr. Mary Fifield, and our data coach, Dr. Renee Garcia, following the recent multiple-day visit to HCCC, and our HCCC family continues to make remarkable progress in moving the needle on student retention and degree completion. On Friday, at the invitation of Achieving the Dream, we sent a lengthy and detailed application for ATD's singular highest honor, the Leah Meyer Austin Award. And according to Achieving the Dream, and I'm quoting, the Leah Meyer Austin Award is the highest distinction a college in the ATD network can earn, given annually to a college that demonstrates outstanding long-term gains in student success and institutional equity. We thank Vice Presidents Dr. Heather DeVries and Associate Vice Presidents Dr. Heather DeVries and John Argola for preparing our very substantive Leah Meyer Austin Award application. One thing we know from Achieving the Dream, you don't get off the hook on submitting lots of information anytime you respond to a request. And I don't know, 40 pages or something like that, maybe more. But I can tell you this, when you read our application, you have to smile and appreciate all the phenomenal progress we've made as a community in supporting our students' retention, credential completion, and the achievement of their goals and dreams. The progress our college made over the past 5 years culminated, as we all know, in our selection last year as an Achieving the Dream Leader College of Distinction, which is a remarkable achievement in and of itself that we achieved in the shortest possible time frame by ATD standards. So Heather and John and everyone, thank you. I think I'm going to send our application, or at least the letter, to the whole college community so they can see it. Also, while I'm talking to Heather, we're in the final stages of our college-wide strategic planning, a half-day college-wide meeting to review and further refine the draft strategic plan is tentatively scheduled for the afternoon of Wednesday, November 6th. We expect to bring the completed new strategic plan to the November Board of Trustees meeting for approval. I think that it's late in November, I think November 26th or thereabouts. So I'd now like to invite Heather to update us on our student success initiatives and action plan and our college-wide strategic planning process. Thank you so much, Heather.
Thank you so much. And like everything we do here, the Leah Meyer Austin application truly took a village. Willie, if you could just put up the one slide showing how how far-reaching this application was in terms of requests for information. Again, apologies for any sins of omission, not intentional. And again, I probably could have filled 2 or 3 more slides. As Dr. Reber said, our application was probably about 40 pages all told. We had enough for another 40 pages. So it's really remarkable, and we should take a lot of pride in the work we're all doing. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It did come together. It is, I think, fingers crossed. We won't hear until it's usually late December. So fingers crossed, but thank you to everyone involved. It really did take a village and a very, very substantive lift over the course of 2 weeks or so. As part of a Leah Meyer Austin application, we submitted, as we have done in the past for Leader College and Leader College of Distinction designations, we had to include progress across certain metrics, both overall and then in terms of narrowing equity gaps. And a special thank you to John Argola for providing leadership on that part of the application. We were able to demonstrate improvement and meet and really well exceed ATD's benchmark of improving by at least 3 percentage points over 4 years in the following areas: persistence, fall to fall, completion, and ATD looks at 4-year completion just to differentiate a little bit from IPEDS at 3-year, and then voluntary framework of accountability at 6-year. And then transfer and baccalaureate attainment, which again for ATD is a 6-year time frame that they look at. So we again met or well exceeded the 3 percentage point requirement in all of those, and we were able to demonstrate narrowing equity gaps in the persistence metric across decreasing the gap between Hispanic and white students, and then in the completion metric narrowing the gap between Pell and non-Pell recipients. So again, a really solid application, and we have so much to be proud of. So otherwise, in terms of achieving the dream, we are in the Achieving the Dream Conference cycle mode. Earlier today, I sent out an email to many of you about Dream Scholars, nominating a Dream Scholar. Our students have such powerful stories to tell. We really wanted to provide them an opportunity to showcase their stories, showcase their experience at Hudson, and really benefit from the mentorship ATD provides as part of its Dream Scholar program. So please, if you have a student in mind or more than one, I don't think there's a limit on how many students we can nominate. Please reach out to me for the email if you did not receive it, or talk to your PEC member, your supervisor, or your cabinet member definitely received it. I need to submit all the information to ATD through their survey or submission portal. So I'm requesting all nominations be to me by Monday, November 4th. If you have any other questions, again, I'm happy to meet and talk more about it. Otherwise, Dream 2025 is in Philadelphia this year, nice and close, and we are hoping to have a large contingent. I will be sending out instructions about travel requests, travel coordination, all of that stuff later today or sometime this week. So stay tuned. Again, if you have interest in going, please first and foremost talk to your supervisor, make sure your cabinet member is aware, and then the process unfolds from there. But we're looking forward to returning to form with a strong showing by HCCC. And then again, just to echo Dr. Reber, thank you to everyone who participated in Mary and Renee's visit in October. We'll be working through the letter and the recommendations at our next Dream Team meeting, and then Mary and Renee return to campus in December. But they were very, very, very impressed with how much progress we had made over the summer. Switching gears to strategic planning. Our 3 sub-plans are at various stages of finalization. I believe the DEI action plan, which Dr. Poolhouse had shared at the DEI summer retreat, is with communications in the final stages of formatting. Thank you to Jen Christopher and her team. The academic success plan, Dr. Jones and I are reviewing and are bringing to finalization soon, sharing with President Reber for review. And then the student success action plan has been a little bit on the back burner with the Leah Meyer Austin application, but I think they mutually reinforce one another. And again, that should come to conclusion within the coming week 2. So Dream Team members, keep an eye out for an email from me. In terms of our college-wide plan, we're kind of at the halfway point. We will have, as Dr. Reber mentioned, on November 6th, our second of two opportunity for college-wide engagement. The first were the SOAR Fora that you participated in early September. Again, we had almost 200 people participate. The second opportunity, which again is equally crucial, is the Strategic Planning Summit, which is scheduled for the afternoon of November 6th. Exact time TBD. I need to follow up with Dr. Davey. But this is really crucial in that this is where we do some of the heavy lift around determining what initiatives will really comprise the core of the plan. So through the core planning, through the SOAR Fora data, through the core planning team meetings, and with a little assist from Dr. Davey and his team, We have arrived at 6 draft strategic directions, which again are going to probably change slightly. So I'll only share broad overarching themes of each, but please make every effort to attend at least part of the summit on November 6th and start thinking again of what initiatives might fall in these different buckets. The first one focuses on student success, providing personalized support and promoting equitable access. The second one focuses on inclusive and high-quality education. The third is a comprehensive support environment, building on the success of the Hudson Scholars Model. The fourth is about professional development and employee engagement. The fifth is about inclusive, sustainable spaces and facilities. And the sixth is about meeting the diverse, evolving needs of our students and community. So again, start thinking with your team about what different initiatives, what you're working on, what you know you want to work on, even some of those reach goals that we put on the list for when we have time. Start thinking about those, start making notes, and please bring them to the summit ready to discuss. So that is all I have. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks so much, Heather. And Nicholas is here now. Nicholas, can you just update us on the search for VP for HR?
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, I missed my first introduction. Let me begin by thanking everyone in the HR office who's just been stepping up and doing a great job, especially Amala. But they really have helped with this transition period. On the search, a committee is in formation. Every individuals will be getting notified this afternoon and invited to join the search, the screening committee, not search committee. And the goal is to have someone in front of the Board of Trustees by February. So what that will mean is we've already started advertising. We have a contract with ACCT to help with recruitment in addition to the advertising that the college does on its own. And the screening committee would meet in November to begin reviewing the applications that are coming in. We already have well over a dozen applications. We've only been up for a few days. And then in December, that screening committee would narrow the field down. Hopefully in January, we'd have finalists on campus to meet the community and present to the community, and then move to forward with a February board appointment. Just because I have the microphone on the athletics, can I do that now? Following a very similar schedule, that the task force that was involved in putting together the athletics plan has been converted to a screening committee. That committee is still getting built out and flushed out as we get more and more volunteers. But very similar, we're hoping to have a candidate, a finalist by February, March. So, and that's also being advertised. We are not using a recruitment firm for that position. We're simply advertising. We're also have sent it out to Region 19, which is the region that we'd compete in, as well as the Garden State Athletic Conference, which would be our home conference. So that's where we are with those two positions. I also just myself appreciate everyone taking a deep breath and keeping all the HR issues to a minimum until we have someone on board in February. Wishful thinking. Thanks.
Thank you, Nicholas and Amala. Appreciate your leadership. Okay. Back to Achieving the Dream. A new initiative in our work with ATD involves building a capacity action plan that's aligned with ATD's Strengthening Teaching and Learning seminar series. Director of the HCC Center for Teaching, Learning, and Innovation, Dr. Paula Roberson, is leading this project. Paula, will you please update us and describe the project? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I enjoyed the beautiful weather outside yesterday in the breast cancer walk, and I hope you enjoyed it in any way that you could. So at this time, I want to share with you a new long-term project that the Center of Teaching and Learning has embarked upon. Achieving the Dream invited HCC to apply and participate in high-impact Strengthening Teaching and Learning seminar series on our campus. The 8-session series is a collection of interactive virtual sessions that link teaching and learning and teams across the ATD network to build a community of practice and develop comprehensive frameworks for high-impact professional learning at our institution. With support from a dedicated ATD coach, we will design a cohesive, college-focused building capacity action plan with evidence-based strategies while connecting with the network of support, a national network of support. The goals of the program are, and this is only a couple of them, explore evidence-based practices that advance equity while building student learning and success in a wide range of disciplines, to evaluate our campus professional development needs, assets, and improvement goals, to use ATD's toolkit and other resources to understand research-based principles of good practice and design more effective and high-impact PD learning, professional development learning programs for HCCC. We will also, one of the goals are to develop organizational plans linking short-term actions with strategic capacity building and institutional change, and to prepare to offer support and integrate high-impact professional learning programs that engage full and part-time faculty, as well as staff, and strengthening learning, teaching, and student support processes. Our HCC team goals are to intentionally support strengthening and learning outcomes to improve retention, persistence, and graduation for an improved student learning outcomes and student experience, tied to our academic plan and strategic goals, with consideration given to our tuition reimbursement program and other factors around the college. Our college team meets twice monthly in addition to the monthly ATD meeting. We meet to formulate a definitive plan to strengthen teaching and learning here at the college. Currently, we are developing professional development tracks for various initiatives, integrating current professional development offerings into those tracks, and exploring avenues of incentives for full and part-time faculty. So I am pleased right now to introduce you to our team, and this is going to be news to some of you. Our team is, Sharon Daughtry, co-lead instructor of BCH. Our new co-lead is Dr. Kay Thurman, instructor in the Humanities and Social Sciences. Bob Kahn, Director of Instructional Systems in the COL Department. Sadia Reed, Director of Patron Services. Dr. Bernadette So, Dean of Student Success. R.M. Steinman, Director of Grants and Sponsored Programs. And John Argola, Associate Vice President of IR and Planning. So, one last thing, in our 8 seminar series, we will explore, we have predetermined topics that we focus on that will be incorporated into our plan. Our seminar activities are Introduction to the Framework, High Impact Professional Learning Design and Leadership, Systemic and Strategic Support for Professional Learning, Strengthening Your Campus Professional Learning Hub, which we will be developing. One more. Deploying professional learning to support evidence-based pedagogy, professional learning that strengthens student supports, step-back consulting, collaborative feedback and problem solving, and our last session, strategic messaging to gather support. There will be new information as things grow and change, and thank you for listening.
Paula, thank you so much. That's really, really exciting. We continue to make progress in our strategic enrollment initiatives that include leadership and support for continuing positive outcomes related to our student retention and new student recruitment goals. As I always say, this work is owned by everyone. Enrollment really is the outcome of everyone's efforts and contributions. I've asked Senior Vice President for Student Affairs and Enrollment, Dr. Lisa Doherty, to share a fall enrollment update with all of us. Lisa.
Good afternoon, everyone. If it weren't for this town hall, I would have been at the beach today. So thank you and no thank you. So beautiful weather, though. I'm loving it. It's been a really long time, and I'm not sure if I've ever been able to report that we are up in absolutely every key metric. I honestly, if I can't remember, then it's probably never happened. So we had a really successful fall. We're still not back to pre-pandemic enrollment, but we are getting closer. I checked today, we're getting closer. We're within like 500 head count. But we are up in new students, both head count and credits, continuing students, both head count and credits, and early college students, which is a huge area of growth at the college, both head count and credits. So for those of you who like the numbers, the new student numbers were up about 10% in both head count and credits, which is significant because that just filters through all of our retention efforts. Those are new students that we can bring into that treatment. Continuing students, which speaks to all the work we're doing through the DREAM team, Hudson Scholars, all of the progress reports, all of the things that we've implemented. We're up 3.4% in head count and 4.2% in credits. So overall enrollment, if someone were to ask you, I know on the weekends at your dinner table, everyone's like, how's enrollment at Hudson? You can say, well, we were up about 6% in head count and 6.3% in credits, which is really healthy. I mean, that's not just an accident. That's not just a percent where, you can't say that it wasn't a deliberate effort. So we're really excited about that. And the early college program, kudos to Chris Conzen, Christian Altamirano, that entire team. They are up 28% in head count and 21% in credits, which is really huge considering that is a program that really struggled during the pandemic. If you think about high school students could barely stay afloat in their high school studies. And they're up just as much in terms of new students, up 31% in head count, 23 in credits, and continuing 25% in head count, 19% in credits. So really good story all around, and we just need to now maintain that. Now we become a victim of our success, and we have to constantly be getting better. I also will share the breakdown of the modality because I know this is something that's of interest to many. Right now, 58% of our enrollment is on ground at one of our two campuses and or the Secaucus Center, which we're reviving. 21% is online, asynchronous, and 22% is remote live. So we're back to really a very strong on-ground presence, as can be seen in our student center and activities and all the great things happening on campus. So it's impossible to give credit to everyone who is responsible for the enrollment, but it really is everyone's job. I mean, it's really everyone deserves the recognition from the recruitment team and admissions team led by Matt Fessler. Of course, the advisement team under the leadership of Dr. Schultes, the faculty who diligently do those progress reports and put in midterm grades and take their attendance and all the things that we know really mean a lot to student success. The bursar for reaching out to students for payments, the financial aid team for packaging students. So it's everybody's win, and we thank everybody for their support. A lot of exciting events related to enrollment. Many of you witnessed last week the first time we had the North Hudson Open House coupled with the Hudson S2 Casa event, which we could just kept that campus was buzzing that day. On Saturday, November 2nd, we have the Journal Square Open House. And then almost every week this fall, we have a pep rally where a different high school is coming to campus, hosted by Tamika Reynolds and Teen Magazine. So I know a lot of you are involved in that, and that we really appreciate that because we know that you're leaving your office to resource a table and to give information to students. And this is, you're leaving, I know, a lot of work that needs to be done to help us with these events. So thank you. So just as we wrap up the fall, we're already beginning winter and spring registration. Online B begins this Friday. So we still do have time to impact the fall numbers, and priority registration for spring and winter begins this Friday. Students eligible for priority registration include those who use accessibility services. That's a new cohort for our priority reg. Early college degree seeking students, honors students, EOF students, Hudson Scholars, student parents, and veterans. And we are continuing to explore different populations to add to priority registration, but making sure that priority still exists, right? If everyone's priority, then no one's priority. So we have those populations. We've expanded that quite a bit. The following Friday, November 1st, all students are able to register. And then one thing I wanted to make sure you're aware of, new this term. So maybe about a year ago, we implemented a hold on students. Once a year, they have to update their contact information, which is really important to us, especially when we reach out to students via text a lot for payments and financial aid. So every year, every 365 days, students get an alert that you must update or confirm your contact information, which is great. Now, once a year, they will be asked to agree. It's called a person agreement. So it's basically getting rid of a lot of paper processes where we would give students printouts of statements and make them initial and really just antiquated processes. So this is an online agreement where it basically says, I understand that I need to check my email, my Hudson email on a regular basis. I understand here are my financial obligations. Here's my financial aid obligations. So it really protects the college when students say, well, nobody told me I had this bill. And also protects the student because they know they can read and understand, their obligations before they register. So I just wanted to give you an update on that. Students are getting a communication about it today, and that will start popping up on their self-service this week. So that is it. I hope I am back here in the spring reporting great news about winter and spring registration, and enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. What a great report. And we've been on an upward trend of enrollment growth, incremental, but upward since the pandemic. This is starting to be more of a spike, and we hope that trend continues. And notably, we're up in both on-ground, as Lisa noted, and in students taking fully online courses. So to be up in both is really, that's where we want to be, and we're really delighted. So takes a village. Thank you all. Okay. Yesterday, I sent a note to our entire HCCC family with a link to the new HCCC Holocaust and Armenian Genocide commemoration video. As you're all aware, the college offers a commemoration of the Holocaust and the Armenian Genocide every year to bring awareness to these historical tragedies and commemorate and remember the millions of people lost. And this year, our annual Holocaust and Armenian Genocide commemoration took the form of a video organized and curated by members of the President's Advisory Council on Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and others in the HCCC community. We especially thank Professor Rafi Manjikian, Professor Alana Winslow, Dean Arik Karakashian, Executive Director Ilya Ashman, and community member Haig Goulian for their remarks in the video. If you haven't gone and watched it, I really encourage you to do so. So thank you all for that. And then that will be a permanent part of our Gabriel Library collection. I hope what I'm saying is true. I think it is. It'll certainly, it's on our YouTube page right now, but we want to make sure it's a permanent part of the collection. So thank you. And we continue to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. Many of you attended a recent celebration at North Hudson that featured Board of Trustees Chair Jeanette Pena sharing the story of her inspirational journey, both personal and professional. And we thank Trustee Pena and all who planned that event that was exceedingly well attended by students, faculty, and staff. And there's much more to celebrate, including our college's participation in the 49th Annual Hispanic State Parade of New Jersey, our recent fall open house that Lisa mentioned, and Hudson S. Ducasa Community Resource Fair, recent awards and recognitions, and more. I'd like at this time to invite our colleagues, Vice President for DEI, Dr. Yuris Pujols, and PAC Day co-chairs Diana Galvez and Rafi Manjikian to offer an update on lots happening in the DEI space. Thank you, folks.
A little shorter than every. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope this week has started on a good note. Just a few updates before I pass it on to my co-chair, Rafi Manjikian. On Friday, October 18th, we had the pleasure of hosting Dr. Deborah Manning, Dean of Multicultural Services and Activities, as well as facilitator for the President's Advisory Council on Diversity and Equity and Inclusion at Bergen Community College. Dr. Manning's visit provided a space for collaboration and the interchanging of ideas between Hudson and our sister school. She was able to meet with both the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion team and PAC Day during her visit and borrow some of our ideas. We look forward to continuing to work with Dr. Manning and her team in supporting and the promotion of DEI work in both of our communities. Dr. Pack and the PAC Day Student Action Group will be attending the Women's March on Saturday, November 2nd in Washington, D.C. The group will spend the day in the nation's capital and participate in the walk. We wish them a safe and exciting trip. A PAC Day membership commitment form will be sent out next week to all PAC Day members. This commitment form is designed to confirm members' commitment to PAC Day principles, ensure understanding of remote meeting guidelines, and allow members to sign up for a goal committee. I want to give a special shout out to all new PAC Day members. If there's any in the room, please feel free to stand up. We are excited to have you on board and look forward to working with all of you. La Hermanidad Affinity Group has officially launched this semester. I want to thank Professors Gilda Reyes, Inez Cruz, Claudia Delgado, Sovi Pujos, Johnny Decina White, and Michelle Vera, as well as Jennifer Valcasar, Brianna Casagrande, Jenny Henriquez, Doreen Pontes, Danielle Lopez, and Jacqueline De Lemos for their participation in La Hermanidad, the Latina Experience, our journey to professional and educational spaces on Thursday, October 3rd. We had over 40 participants join to hear the journeys of these 12 amazing Latina professionals who use resilience, grit, grace, love, and gratitude to achieve their goals. These women's stories inspired and empowered our HCC family. So big shout out, thank you very much. This is a shameless plug, but the next Hermanidad discussion will take place on Wednesday, November 13th at 4 p.m. via Zoom. Feel free to RSVP on Involved. We will be having a conversation about those not so friendly family members and how to cope during the holidays. I know that that could be stressful. And my final update on Saturday, October 12th, the Latino Advisory Council, in collaboration with Enrollment Services in the North Hudson campus, held an open house and Hudson Es Tu Casa Community and Education Fair. Special thanks to Dean Fessler, Executive Director Joseph Caneglia, and Wendy Martinez, and Congressman Rob Menendez for their support and collaboration on the event. We had over 200 visitors on campus. We actually used, I think, every floor of the North Hudson campus on that day. So there was activity going on everywhere. We had over 20 applications and FAFSA applications submitted, over 25 departments represented, over 15 workshops held by the Latino Advisory Council, 35 tables set up throughout the campus, and over 100 staff, faculty, peer leaders, Black members, vendors, et cetera, who came to support the event. During the event, we gave out several flu vaccinations. I think it's just flu, right? No COVID, right? Yeah, just flu vaccination. But that's it for me. Thank you.
It is always hard to follow her, but I'll try my best. Before I pass it off to my older brother, Dr. Yura Spools. So we had the Out of Darkness Suicide Prevention Walk over the weekend, led by, besides PAC Day, PTK, Active Minds, and there was, SGA. So we had a great team there. That's where we were instead of the breast cancer walk. So we were doing that yesterday in Hoboken. You were also there. So, and Joycelyn. So those were the two team leads, Diana and Joycelyn. I was there representing Ted because Ted was also doing the MS Bike race in New York City. So a lot of great things going on there with that. We also had, during Hispanic Heritage Month, a faculty panel. So Dr. Perez was a part of that panel. He's in the room. You can stand and, yeah, Dr. Perez. As well as Claudia Delgado, Jonathan Cabrera, and Tony Acevedo. So that was very impactful. The students really enjoyed it. As mentioned, Trustee Pena's event, which has gotten a lot of positive feedback. I knew how great she is, and I was very happy and blessed that she was able to share her story to the whole community. We hope to have more events like that. I will be speaking with Dr. Reber and VP Uris how we can have more events like to that magnitude, but she really did a fantastic job. A lot of the students really connected with her story. A lot of tears in the room. I'm not really good with emotions and tears, but a lot of students were crying about how impacted they were from her story. So we really appreciate her taking the time during her day. She was actually going to another meeting right after her talk. She couldn't enjoy the food that we had gone for her, but she took a to-go box and, she went on her way. So she's always doing great things. So nice that she did that. And thank you, Dr. Reber and VP Uris, for having the event, and, good job to Trustee Pena. We had our meeting recently, and it went very well. As Diana mentioned, new members. So I think, Suzette, you are a new member. So if you can stand, and yeah. So we'll be working hard. Our steering committee meeting will start again soon in the first week of November, and the next general meeting will be in the second week in November as well. And now I get to pass it off to the VP of DEI, my older brother, Dr. Yuris Pujols.
Thank you, Diana and Rafi, for those excellent reports. I believe you cover pretty much a lot of the, almost everything that we're doing. But I just wanted to add some of the work that we're doing in the Office of Accessibility Services. As you know, we want to ensure that we're able to increase the number of students that we serve. And as the last time that Danielle and I spoke, we have increased the number roughly between 10 to 15% of the number of students that we serve. So as we get closer to the end of the term, we'll be able to really quantify that in a more accurate number. And another goal that we have is to, in order to promote a culture of accessibility, is to have training sessions, training opportunities that people know what it is that we can do and how to go about to support the students and how to get accessibility accommodations. So just today, Danielle held a workshop titled Supporting College Students with Disabilities. And I believe we had like maybe 20 people participating. So that's excellent. There'll be another one in November 7th. So more to come on that. And the idea is that these trainings are going to be ongoing to ensure that, the information is available and the resources are readily available for everyone. For cultural affairs, we have an excellent exhibition at the gallery, Shifting Horizons, which was curated by Professor Laura Ricodana. And this one deals with landscapes and how the work engage and enrich our connections to the world around us, our place within it, and ultimately a call to action to protect our environment. So I encourage all of you students, faculty, and staff to pass by. That exhibition will be open until November 4th. For Veterans Affairs and International Student Services, there's a small group planning an International Week celebration. That one will take place between November 18th and November 20th. It's a lot of concept work still, but the idea is to have a series of activities, celebrating the multiculturalism that exists here in Hudson County Community College. We're talking about food fairs, fashion shows, cultural fairs, and also international support services for immigration services, having that resource available here on campus. From the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, I wanted to provide a quick update for the employee training, DEI training. Just to put it in perspective, last semester we had 10 people participate on it. Currently we have 29. So, the number has really shot up. And this is going to be, again, ongoing. We're going to keep building on the progress we've made with the eCornell programs to make sure that DEI training is consistent and available to all of us. And the other only update that I have is that we are wrapping up our planning for the Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial on January. We're looking tentative at January 28th for this engagement. And we have secured Alicia Shabazz. She is a professor, published author, and speaker. She's really powerful, and she's also the daughter of Malcolm X. So she kind of brings a strong story, and she'll be speaking for 45 minutes. There'll be an opportunity to ask questions, more to come on that. But again, that's all that I have. Thank you all for your time, and Dr. Reaver for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you so much. So much happening and all good. And another piece I'll share is that a few weeks ago we hosted a signing ceremony and reception with members of the Hudson County Latin American Chamber of Commerce, the HCCC Latino Advisory Council, community leaders, and faculty, staff, and students. The college and the Hudson County Latin American Chamber continue to grow our partnership, and together we're working to support members of the community, Hudson County entrepreneurs, small businesses. And we're working together to develop a framework to enhance educational and business opportunities, foster community engagement, and support workforce development initiatives throughout Hudson County. I want to take this opportunity to thank Associate Vice President for Workforce Development, Lori Margolin, Vice President for DEI, Dr. Yuris Pujols, Dr. Chevroletti, our Latino Advisory Council consultant, Wendy Martinez, and many others for planning this celebration and growing our partnership. with the Hudson County Latin American Chamber. Recently, our 50th anniversary planning committee began meeting to plan our year-long 50th anniversary celebration that will be held in 2025-2026. The celebration will kick off next fall and then culminate in the opening of the new Center for Student Success in fall of 2026. I'd now like to invite Vice President for Advancement and Communications, Nicole Johnson, to update us on this exciting work. Nicole.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? It's good to see your faces again. So let me start by saying that our 50th anniversary committee, the full committee has met a couple of times so far, and we have developed subcommittees, and those subcommittees are going to really work to deliver on all of the exciting opportunities we have for the year-long celebration that Chris just spoke about. So those committees include events, government and external affairs, alumni relations, development, and communications. And each of these committees are led by chairs, actually co-chairs, and then at last week's meeting, we had a survey that will, and a pitch conversation about where each of the volunteers will end up. And so we enjoyed going through all of the various goals and opportunities that will present themselves as we work on this celebration. And a few things that I want to share with you about the work we've accomplished so far is we're narrowing down on our logo. We have a hashtag now, and we're working on finalizing our landing pages. I'm sorry, we're working on finalizing our email addresses. We have not finalized at all our landing page, which we're building. In fact, a lot of work is going on behind and in front on what that site map will look like. And that site map is going to, and that landing page is going to spell out all of the important milestones, our timeline, the events that we're planning, and everything else that's going to be a key ingredient for our success during this 50th anniversary year-long celebration. And I'm just going to, if you'll humor me, delve into a little bit more deeply about each of the committees and what some of their charges are. So the first committee that I've got here is the Events Committee, and it's co-chaired by Veronica Gerasimo and Michelle Vitale. And we are going to look at the best events that our community produces each year, one a month, and then think about what are some of those events that we're not doing yet that we can really make unique and special, and invite our community to attend and participate in these events in new and different ways. And so stay tuned for the work of that committee. We know that events are something that we excel at, and we look forward to creating wonderful opportunities in that space. And I spoke a little bit about our communications committee, and this will be chaired by Jen Christopher and Christopher Fontanez. And they're behind and in front of, along with the rest of the committee, a discussion about our logo, our hashtag, all of our marketing materials, and all of the wonderful information and soon-to-be giveaways that you'll be seeing and all other swag. So moving on to, just a moment, our External Affairs and Government Relations Committee chaired by Nicholas Chevroletti and our County Executive Chief of Staff, Jenny Davis. They'll be working on making sure we're taking our messaging and all of our amazing accomplishments on the road. And I actually want to say a little bit about that. it's important that we think about all of the individuals and organizations and people who we're partnering with on a day-to-day basis. And I know that everyone has someone they're working with beyond our walls that they can engage in a deeper and truly more meaningful way as we think about all of the opportunities for engagement that we're going to have around this celebration. These upcoming committees, our alumni relations committees in particular, and our development committee can really play a role in making sure these individuals, organizations, and groups are involved in this celebration. This is really about community and about making sure that our brand and our many national and local achievements are known and celebrated throughout our community. So moving on to alumni relations, that committee is chaired by Uris Pujols and Angela Tezzo. So be on the lookout, all of you HCCC employees who are also alumni. I'm sure that you'll have an opportunity to share your thoughts and engage around this effort. And then our development committee, which is chaired by myself and Heather DeVries. And we're looking forward to really getting out there as the college's brand ambassadors, along with our committee members, and really making sure, along the lines of what I was sharing, that everyone who we need to be communicating with about the excellent work and achievements of this institution over the last 50 years is something that more than just your school knows, your program, your department, but that our entire county and the state understand about what an important institution we have here. And with that, I'm glad to just have the opportunity to share out with you all about the latest with the 50th anniversary planning. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Nicole. Lots of good work going on. This is going to be a major once every 50 years, year-long celebration. And we are so happy that so many people are involved right now up front in envisioning and planning the celebration. And just as a reminder, and this is a little tricky, I'm honing my language on this, but what we're technically doing is celebrating the 50th anniversary of the first program completers here. So the college opened in 1974. That means the first students pursuing an associate degree completed in 1976. Now, Nicholas, who's writing a history of the college, pointed out to me that we didn't actually have a commencement ceremony in 1976, but I believe we had some program completers there. So for what it's worth, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of those first program completers, and it'll be then that year-long celebration. And it's going to be great. So thank you all for your involvement. And that segues somewhat nicely into an update on the construction of the Center for Student Success, since this whole anniversary celebration is designed to culminate in the opening of the Center for Student Success circa fall 2026. We're envisioning a concluding gala celebration, not to be confused with our holiday gala, but a concluding anniversary gala, maybe in our new gymnasium, which will become a new venue for major events. And so I'd like to invite once again Dr. Chiavalotti to give us an update on construction of the Center for Student Success and the all-important parking stacker facility just across the way from that. And I also want to thank him for his leadership. He's also been leading, as many of you know, planning for space relocations next May, when we're going to have to vacate 162 and 168 SIP Avenue. So it's a heck of a lot of work. Thank you, Nicholas, and please update us.
Two points of personal privilege. One, when Chris runs through that list, I realize I haven't had a really good assignment in a while, Chris. So I'm gonna pick my next one. And then as far as the 50th, we don't need an excuse to celebrate. We will find a way. Let's begin with the stackers because this was supposed to open up in September. It has been delayed. If you're looking at the screen, they are on site. They have been delivered. They are starting to be installed. It should take, the company tells us it will take 3 weeks, so let's say 4. And that's hopefully Jersey City will not delay us any further than they already have through their permitting process. Once that's fully installed, we'll then be able to have the contractor. We've already hired someone to run the stackers for us. We obviously don't have the ability to do that in-house. They'll be on site the first week of November, get training, and those stackers will be brought online sometime this semester. So that will create 104 spots, including new handicap spots to replace what we're going to lose behind 70 Sip Avenue. And we're excited about this project. We've been looking for parking solutions since I've come here. This may not be a complete solution, but creating 104 new parking spots on this campus is pretty incredible. And I think Chris and the board deserve a lot of credit for making this investment. So we're excited for that. And we will be having a ribbon cutting, even though it's not a building, even if it's just me out there in the snow, we'll have a ribbon cutting. On the Center for Student Success, that project, thank you, Willie, by the way. And let me just thank Willie, because I literally sent this to him as I was sitting in the front row, because the stackers have just arrived this morning. The Center for Student Success is moving on schedule. If you have been down Jones or Enos, you've noticed that progress has somewhat slowed. We are ready to accept steel. The foundations have been laid. We're currently being delayed by the City of Jersey City and PSE&G having a dispute where PSE&G is currently not allowed to work in the City of Jersey City because of permitting issues. It has nothing to do with our project. Unfortunately, we sort of caught up in the tangle web. They're supposed to settle this by November 1st. Once PSE&G relocates the power lines, we will bring steel in probably for a month and begin going vertical on that building. We don't anticipate that this will cause a major delay in the completion of the project, which is still slated for August, September of 2026. So that's exciting. As part of that project, we have sold 70 Sip Avenue and 162 Sip Avenue, as many of you know. 162 Sip Avenue has been sold. We're currently occupying these spaces for $1, basically $1 a year. With the City of Jersey City as the owner. City of Jersey City has sold 162 Sip Avenue. We've met with the developer, and we need to be out of that building and out of that space by May of 2025. So that's just a couple of months away. Because of that, Chris put together a task force to look at how we relocate out of 162. Task force really did an amazing job. I'm not going to start naming people because I don't have the list in front of me, but you talk about taking 10 pounds of stuff and fitting in a 5-pound bag. That's exactly what the committee did. Every operation, every office, every person who works at a 162 is being relocated in existing space. This was one of the priorities for the Board of Trustees, that we don't go and lease additional spaces. So I want to thank everyone here in the Journal Square campus who has been so gracious in giving up space for a short term. We expect this to be a 12 to sort of 18-month inconvenience, but we have new temporary faculty offices being created. We have a health lab, permanent health lab being created in this building. The construction management lab is permanently moving out of 162 to the STEM building. So there's a lot of work, and in November we'll have drawings to show you about all the various moving parts. We are now at the difficult stage of that process. So now we've identified the space. We now actually have to go out, contract, and get the work done. This falls, again, everything is a team effort. So Jeff Robertson needs to get the contracts in place, and Ilya and his team need to work on getting the work done that they can get done, and as well as managing the construction projects. So all that is moving forward. That remains on schedule. That work will begin probably this winter and continue through next semester. And then in May of next year, whether it's the 15th or the 20th is a question we'll we'll vacate that property. That at that time, I mean, there's enough time to beat me up about this, but at that time, we'll also be vacating that parking lot. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to make sure we had the new 119 Newkirk parking lot online. So that's the update from there. There is one use that is not being relocated out of the building to a permanent solution. That's the bookstore. Working with Veronica Zeichner, we're looking at how we handle the bookstore for the next couple of years, whether it's through pop-up, but other sort of more inventive ways of handling it, because we simply don't have space to relocate the bookstore at this point. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Now, what isn't fun about all that? Thank you again for herding cats so well. I'm pleased to share, incidentally, with all of you that if you're not aware of this, Nicholas will be one of 4 leaders honored at the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce 17th Annual Legends Gala on Tuesday, December 10th. And the celebration will be held at Hudson House in Jersey City. We're purchasing a table for HCCC family members who wish to attend. So if you're interested in joining us at the Chamber Gala to celebrate Nicholas and his leadership, please contact Alexa Riano. I hope that's okay, Alexa. And congratulations, Nicholas. On Wednesday, October 30th, we look forward to hosting County Executive Craig Guy on his listening tour throughout Hudson County. The event will be held in the HCCC Student Center Multipurpose Room from 12:30 until 1:30 p.m. that day. That's Wednesday, October 30th. It's open to everyone. The county executive wants to hear from community members about his agenda for Hudson County and the services and opportunities of interest to Hudson County residents and community members. And he'll be discussing career and internship opportunities, Vision Zero, health and wellness resources, and other topics. So please join us in the Student Center if you're able. Tomorrow, Board of Trustees Vice Chair Pamela Gardner, Vice Presidents Nicole Johnson and Daryl Jones, Associate VP Lori Margolin, and our alumnus Warren Rigby, and I will be traveling to Seattle to attend the Association of Community College Trustees Annual Leadership Conference. At least I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm not sure the travel schedules of the others, but we're all going to meet up there. And that's always a really major update and opportunity to network with our community college colleagues across the country. And then as soon as that's over and we all get back, we'll be sending a strong delegation of students, faculty, and staff to the annual convening of the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities in Denver. That's HACU. And we look forward to sharing our experiences at both conferences with all of you. And now we open the meeting to questions, comments.